What's up, everybody? Welcome to Waypoints Media Club. It's like a book club, but for everything except books. Joining me today is Bret Jamerson, the birthday boy, well, one day late.
Hey, guys.
And my other half of the Orphan Gamers, LeighErin and Bret.
Hi.
Today we are going to be discussing What If Episode 3, What If Earth's Mightiest Heroes Fell? So, LeighErin, you weren't on last week's episode. Just what were some quick thoughts you had on the T'Challa Star-Lord episode?
I did not like nice Thanos. He made me more uncomfortable than evil Thanos did. And that speaks volumes because evil Thanos makes me deeply uncomfortable. It's mainly the chin freaks me out, but still. Nice Thanos really freaked me out, and like sexy Nebula was something I didn't need. Like,
I feel we all know.
Other than that, I loved it. I was
just
weirded out by like.
All right.
But I thought it was good. I thought it was better than Captain Carter because it wasn't just a retelling of an already existing MCU movie.
Yeah.
So, like, you know.
And what are your thoughts on this week's episode?
Can really fast, I just say that I'm fascinated by the marketing technique of this show, of telling us what the episode is the day before it airs.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bret, go ahead.
No.
As if like all Marvel fans aren't watching this. I mean, Victoria isn't even done with the television shows, but just wanted Marvel content, so she's watching What If. Like, everybody's gonna watch it. You don't have to tell us to like lure us in.
They didn't like. I just saw the posters. I didn't read the captions. Did they say this is what the premise was gonna be?
They released videos.
Oh, see, I haven't been watching those. I kind of like going into these blind.
That screenshot I took that I sent that said the title that I sent in Discord was from a video.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Other than that, it was a good episode. I liked it.
Yeah.
I was a little upset because I called it very early on what the plot was going to be. I was hoping I was wrong. But
really?
They did it in a good way. Yeah.
Okay. And Bret, what did you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. First off, I just got to shout out Incredible Hulk love. Did not expect to see so much.
They acknowledged it.
Hulk.
And
yeah,
like the campus, the bridge scene, like it's literally all there. And maybe I'm crazy, but in the very beginning, when the Watcher was like speaking and they had quick snapshots of the week, I feel like that first little blink and you miss it snapshot of Bruce looked like it was a little bit more Edward Norton-y, but then by the second he comes out of the closet, it's Bruce.
I don't think it looked like either of them.
It was like a weird mix. I'm like, let's just make it something.
I was sitting there and I was like, is this supposed to be Mark Ruffalo? Because this does not look like Mark Ruffalo did in Avengers, is what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, but I was talking just that one snapshot in the beginning.
Yeah, even then, I didn't think it looked like either of them.
I
think he just looked like a generic white guy.
Yeah, it had like the scrawniness that Norton had.
So. But yeah, I loved the Incredible Hulk love. I loved that Black Widow was kind of the main character of this episode. In some ways, it was more engaging than the movie. So that was really cool. And yeah, I just like the hook of the assassination aspect of the Avengers, and I guess you called it out, but I had no idea. I did not think of Hank Pym, and then at the end I was like, oh, okay, then obviously with Hope and all that. So I liked it a lot. It was great.
The second that Betty was looking at the needle, it was like the antidote never made it out of the vial. I was like, oh, Hank Pym used a needle to go into Tony Stark, which is gross. And then when Hulk exploded, I was like, oh, this is the Thanos theory. Kind of.
Yeah, no, they basically said that, yes, Scott Lang could have crawled inside Thanos and just gotten big or done something else. It didn't have to be up the butthole, and it didn't have to be he just grew. But it would have worked. So thank you for that. I don't know why Doctor Strange didn't think of that in his 14 million ideas.
Yeah, I literally wrote, did the Hulk just explode like a la the Thanos asshole theory?
It's called the Thanos theory.
I know, I don't like it. I refuse to say that.
Personally, I like this episode the best so far because it was this half step between we're going in a different direction, but it's not completely off the rails. And like, don't get me wrong, I like the completely off the rails. I have no idea where this could go. This doesn't fit in anywhere type of thing that we got with episode 2. But this one, I really like. They're like, okay, you guys are taking some big risks, or not risks, but you guys are taking some big like deviations, but it's kind of in the environment that we all know. I also didn't think of Hank Pym when Janet Van Dyne appeared, and then Natasha said something about somebody who died 2 years ago and said, "Hope, it's all hope." I thought, oh, Janet died 2 years ago and Hope's getting her revenge, is what I thought.
You didn't see on the screen, though, that they were, like, looking at her for the Avengers?
See, I thought it was just because she goes, how did someone access the file? So I thought it was showing the people who had accessed the files.
No, it was showing other people that they were looking at to join the Avengers initiative. In this universe, Hope was already like a superhero.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And I also thought, until the point where she was in the library looking at the computer, I really thought that it was like Loki had just came up with this master plan where he was going to act like you killed my brother and this, but it was really him the whole time. And it was part of his master plan to take over Earth. Which I'm still confused about because they almost glossed over that. Did he just go up to the UN and go, I am your leader now? And people just kind of accepted it?
They showed
he had armies.
They showed everywhere. All the Asgardian army across the entire world. And I
like
assume,
outside the White House and like.
Did they say because they kept doing the day thing to frame where the episode was at? Like, did they do a day before they showed him up at the UN? Because I can't remember that.
I thought it said Friday, but I could be wrong.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, even then, if it's one day, like that army is just way more technologically powerful than First Army, so that makes sense to me. Even then,
yeah.
It was just one thing I think that like it went through too fast.
Yeah, but it also. Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
Oh, go ahead. No, I'm going somewhere completely different.
Oh, it also doesn't, like, this isn't necessarily the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. That like this might be like how Captain Carter's coming back in each season. Maybe this one comes back in each season.
It doesn't even have to come back in this season. It could come back, or in the next season. It could come back in this season.
That's true.
Like, we're just on random universes, you know?
Yeah. Brett, what were you going to say before?
Oh, I was going to say, I love how the way Loki takes over is kind of like they left the back door unlocked. Like, he just shows up and then he's like, oh, wait, I could like take over the Earth. Oh, you kind of see that like switch in his face. Like, he's like, oh, wait, I could take over the Earth. And then he's like, I'm going to stay a little bit longer.
Yeah. It's like when in Rome.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if we get an episode with Captain Marvel beating the shit out of Loki.
The way Hulk did, just ragdoll him.
Sure. Because just she was there at the end when he was like, we haven't lost all hope. And he clears off Cap's shield and then goes, are you ready to go back in action, Cap? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that there's more of a Captain Marvel episode. Like, Captain Marvel plays a role in another episode somewhere.
I thought she was going to appear way earlier when he looked at the top of the page and ran for the pager.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the choice of them never actually showing him activate the pager. So you thought it was just like a passing thought in his head.
Well, because he didn't at that moment.
Yeah.
He didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because then he got the idea to go talk to Loki, and like do all that shit because he figured out it was Hank. Crazy Hank was fun.
Yeah, it's Crazy Hank. I was going to get to that next. Was like, ooh, like this isn't mean asshole Hank like the comics. Like, this is legitimately like you have gone off the deep end. Like, you're deranged now. You see it in his eyes, his hair, the 5 o'clock shadow, the scars. Like, and I fuck with it, to be honest. Like, please stay very, very far away from me. But like, I fuck with it.
Because he had the yellow jacket.
He did, yeah. He became Yellow Jacket, which is the thing in the comics. I think at some point he takes on the mantle. I don't think he uses it as a villain, but I know he takes on the Yellow Jacket mantle.
Because from the movies, he couldn't put on the regular Ant-Man suit because of some Pym particle Like,
Well, it was that he couldn't shrink down at all because of the Pym particles. Because no matter what suit you use, the Pym particles power it.
yeah. So maybe I don't know if that still applies to this universe or if the Yellow Jacket suit did it differently. I'm not sure.
I think he just went for like the more lethal variation of the suit. Is kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what were you gonna say?
It has nothing to do with us, so finish your thought.
I was gonna say, like, some of his ways of killing these people off were gruesome. Like Tony, we know he just kind of put some poison in him, but then Hulk, he just threw one of those discs at his heart and just let his entire body just grow and grow and grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I guess Thor got the best one. He just got shot through the heart, quick and easy. What?
Okay, I haven't watched Thor 1 in a while. Is Coulson that, like, hot for Thor in Thor 1?
No, I think they were running with it more here.
Okay, we're running with Coulson, like, being in love with both Steve. That fucking password was weird, my man.
They took the Coulson thing a little too far, and
I was like, this is funny, but like, is he in love with them?
Yeah, and I feel like if he was a Captain America fan, like the way like he idolizes him, the password wouldn't be Steve, Steve, Steve. It'd be like, you know, Cap. It'd be like more about the persona than the person. I don't know if the line, like the gorgeous hair part, I could see the gorgeous hairline being in Thor, but everything else was just too much. And then the weird, when he's rotting, he still smells like lavender.
Yeah. Just like,
excuse me, but I hated that line.
I thought, because going back to when I thought it was Loki for a second, and you did too, because remember in Thor 1, Loki is like sneaking around the base too, or projecting himself or doing something to talk to Thor when he's still trying to like play both sides. So I thought that's why I thought it was Thor or Loki with Thor's death. That's why it was kind of odd that Loki shows up on Asgard, and obviously he's still Loki, but he still was acting in Asgard's interest in terms of investigating like Thor and where is he.
It was a bit weird that like he like that this is supposed to be like Thor 1 Loki, and he's just like, you killed my brother, how dare you.
I mean, he's playing it up too. Like, I mean, that's what he does.
I feel like Loki, even in Thor 1, did not legitimately like Thor at that much. I feel like that really starts to come through in Dark World.
Right now, he can avenge his brother, and when he becomes King of Asgard, everyone will love him.
Yeah.
Like, it just serves his purpose at the moment to be upset that they killed Thor.
Mm-hmm.
And also probably is upset. Loki does love Thor. Like, we even see it in Loki, where, like, even before he goes through his whole arc, he's still, like, doesn't like that he loves Thor, but, like, loves Thor.
Also, shout out to the Destroyer again, getting to see the Destroyer. Just standing there in the iceberg.
Yeah, Fury just talking to it was so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody home?
This has nothing to do with anything real. It just was funny to me. The establishing shot outside the library right before Natasha dies plays like a music that sounds a lot like the Among Us music. The like thing it does. That like something very similar played, and I was like,
yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Maybe.
Did you mean to sound like Among Us, or is this a bit, or am I like? What's
just a
happening?
Picture of all the Avengers and Hank Pym's like there's one imposter among us.
Literally. I'd play it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is the closest we've ever gotten to comic Clint Barton.
Yeah.
Like making all the sarcastic comments that he makes and being like, I don't freaking the fuck out about not having made that shot because like he doesn't miss, and not like in a
you missed me. No, I didn't, because I was aiming towards something else, like that bit you always see.
Yeah. This is like he's like incapable of missing and like doesn't fire shots he doesn't mean to. And it like fucks him up when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
So like, and also the commentary about like he does have great hair, or I want you, like it's the closest we've ever gotten to like comic Clint.
Yeah.
It's still a little too serious, but like what the fuck ever.
Yeah. I do think that so far of the actors that have come back to reprise their roles, I would say that personally, I think that Tom Hiddleston and Jeremy Renner were one of my preferred ones so far, and just that like there's still some weird like level of there's not too much emotion when they speak all the time, but their voices sounds more consistent than everyone else's.
I think Samuel L. Jackson sounds just like he does in the
Well, I just think Samuel L. Jackson's like so. It's such like a particular voice.
Yeah.
Like if
Okay. Who thought Nick Fury was like super powered at the end initially when he's fighting against Hank Pym and he's like dodging and punching and stuff? I was like, wait a minute.
I just thought that he was actually putting his combat training into use for like the first time that we would have actually seen it. And then by the time he was teleporting, I was like, oh, it's Loki.
Okay.
For the first 2 punches, I was like, oh, I guess we've never really seen Fury fight. And then he flipped and I went, that's Loki. I'm a fucking moron. That's Loki. This was the whole plan, is trick Hank, tire him out, then beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know. I love Loki Fury though. He's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I didn't care about any of them. It's like fucking
yeah.
weird.
That was also another line that probably should have tipped me off. But I also just thought in the moment, it was like, he just wants to get a rise out of him. He's not saying what he means.
And then I like at the end when Hank's on the ground and the real Nick has revealed himself and Loki turns back into Loki. And Hank's like, who's the goth kid? And Loki laughs and goes, trickster god, hi, and giggles again. It's like, what? What do you do? Why are you
Referring to Loki
right
as
now?
the goth kid is truly just the best line they could have given him in that moment.
I feel like they're really taking stupid shit on the internet for What If and putting it in there, like how we all joke on the internet about Loki being the goth kid.
Yeah. And then we found out Hela existed. We're like, oh, no, Thor's the odd one out.
Thor's the fucking weirdo.
Yeah. They had 2 goth kids and somehow the middle one ended up as a jock.
Yeah.
I also really liked the 2 scenes we got that were like establishing thoughts where we just see the Watcher in the horizon. Like his outline was in the sky and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones I really liked, and I kind of was like panicking, being like, did I miss these in other episodes? But no, these are really the only ones that they did it in.
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed, and I'm not sure if there's like a pattern to this at all, but like, the first episode was positive. This episode was, or second episode was like, what if, and like the situation's actually better. This one, it's like the situation's worse. So I wonder if like they have this like balance of, you know, because it's like what, like this one was like, what if like everything just goes horribly wrong in terms of assembling the Avengers? And then like with T'Challa and then with Captain Carter, it's almost like, what if this is like a better outcome than what we got with the like actual story we did in MCU? So it's interesting to see like the balance of positive what if stories, quote unquote, and like negative what if stories.
I mean, yeah, like the second to last shot in this episode was just a line of caskets for the Avengers. Like, goddamn.
That's why I was confused why Cap wasn't in there. Like, obviously Fury knew where to go. Like, I was just kind of confused why that
because
played out
in
that
the
way.
events of Phase 1, what post-credit scene do they find Cap? Thor or Iron Man 2? It has to be Thor because Iron Man 2 is Thor's hammer.
Is it?
When they find Cap in the ice and they go like, this one's waited long enough.
Because I think
so that like
Thor
that
came out
event, the
before
event of them
Captain
finding
America.
Cap's body happens in Fury's big week.
That's a big thing too. Like, I remember when I was rewatching these movies over the last year, like that the events of 2 and Thor and all that happened so fast, but it was, and maybe this is just a what if thing, but all in 1 week, that was kind of
it's called Fury's Big Week. There's a one shot and a comic on it where the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor 1 take place within the same week, which is why in Iron Man 2, Coulson goes, I have something to do in New Mexico. And he drives away, and then we see him in Thor 1 in New Mexico with the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a one shot of on his way there, he goes to fill up his car and fights two thugs in a gas station and buys both donuts because he couldn't choose between them. It's
So
very weirdly wholesome.
In this what if scenario, what happens with Blonsky? Like he never becomes Abomination then?
Yeah, like I guess not, because like the events of the Incredible Hulk work out differently. Like we don't get Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason he becomes Abomination is because Hulk hits him in this scene and he like breaks his back.
Yeah.
Also, it was a little bit weird seeing like in a cartoon character that looks pretty similar to Mark Ruffalo transforming into that was clearly Norton's Hulk with the hair and the size.
It was.
That was Norton's Hulk. But I think they were just more going like the Hulk has changed throughout the years.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, no Abomination. Yeah,
no Abomination, wild. No destruction of Harlem. Nobody's there to stop Whiplash and Hammer. Asgard's going to shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We also got this what if is also Justin Hammer 1. Which, you know what? I can allow that.
And we talked about this last week, like, and I think week 1, like the voice cast, like they brought everybody back except Tony.
No, not everyone, because it wasn't Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, well,
no, it wasn't.
No, that was not. I don't think so.
She did a good job then. Good for her.
Yeah, she did a good job, but it wasn't Scarlett Johansson. I looked at the end.
I'm 90% sure that Scarlett Johansson came back.
But they got like, yeah, they got Samuel L. Jackson, Mark Ruffalo, like Jeremy Renner.
That was Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
they got Michael Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. Like, they're not getting everybody obviously, but they're doing a pretty good job of getting these actors like into the fold for this project, which, you know, it's harder than you think, I would imagine, because it's just another opportunity that they could do.
I like can't read.
I think her name was Lisa Bell.
Oh no, was it Lake Bell?
Lake Bell.
That's it. Because when I saw her name, I'm like, wait, what? Who did she play in the MCU? And then yeah, no Maria Hill. We didn't get any Maria Hill this episode. I just realized.
I think she is in it though, if I remember correctly.
She's in like the computer screen when they're
looking at the files.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know Colby Smulders is credited as coming back as doing an episode, so Maria's got to appear at some point.
Yeah.
But there are so many opportunities for her to reappear, so who the fuck knows? But also, Jordan, my sweet man, my sweet boy.
Yes.
That scene with Captain America, he's waited long enough, is not a post-credit scene. It's just in the movie.
Oh, it's the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because I've been sitting here for 10 minutes going, that's not an end credit scene. I'm 90% sure it's the very beginning.
For First Avenger?
Yeah, when they wipe off the shield and show the caps in the eyes.
I always forget that because
that's the first scene of the Captain America movie.
It feels like a post-credit scene.
What's the stinger for Thor then?
The post-credit for Thor?
Uh-huh.
Hang on.
Because like, yeah, that whole scene is in First Avenger, but they show the shield or something for like a second, or I thought.
Hang on.
I don't know.
Give me 1 second to pull it up. Sorry. Foreshadowing the Avengers, Nick Fury welcomes Eric Selvig to a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, and after showing him the Tesseract, asks him to investigate the object further. Selvig agrees, unaware that his mind is being controlled by Loki. That's the one in Thor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end when they I kind of like the team up of Captain America and Captain Marvel. That's like that's what is so fascinating about the show, is having
Captain
these
Captain.
two heroes like that interact briefly, or I guess for 5 years to some extent after Infinity War, but just like starting this iteration of the Avengers with these two characters is like kind of cool. And I wonder
feel like you don't need any of the rest of them.
Oh, it's Captain Marvel, yeah. Like,
Yeah, like you don't even really need Steve.
Steve's there for
well,
emotional support.
that's
Yeah.
that's the
Someone in
thing.
Reddit comments were like, we literally have two people that are unbreakable. Her, literally him, kind of physically, but mainly in spirit.
That's the thing with this dynamic of the Avengers, like,
And you just
with
know it's
it
going to be about the fucking Tesseract if it's the two of them.
with the original formation, you had that balance of Tony and Steve, but with like I
Balance
obviously
is a
Steve,
weird way to put it, because for the first like 60%, it's a pissing contest.
I just mean in terms of like Tony bankrolling everything and Steve leading,
Yeah.
whereas I still think Steve would be a better leader than Captain Marvel, but she would be a pretty good leader, I think. All
But if it's
things
just the
considered.
two of them, I feel like you could just kind of like, I trust you to do what you got to do.
Yeah. But yeah, and now I'm just thinking like they probably would recruit more people, and I'm just thinking like who would they
Who's
even
left?
recruit?
Yeah, at this
Yeah,
point.
War Machine maybe.
No, because he wouldn't have gotten the suit. Iron Man 2 didn't like fully happen.
Yeah, but the suit still exists. He could
And
be like, I must avenge my friend, and like,
didn't he give the suit already at that point? And
yeah, because the party's already happened when he ends up in the donut, right?
yeah, I
Because
think
the
so.
hangover he has while sitting in the donut is from the party where Rhodey puts on the War Machine. I fucking love this movie. Iron Man 2 is one of my favorites.
Him
What?
in the donut is
Oh, no.
truly just an internal mood in my mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also wrote as a note, we're all fucking idiots to have assumed that we were getting an Iron Man 2 episode just because of Tony and the donut. Because we know for a fact it is canon that those three movies happened at pretty much the same time. So it really could have been anything, not Iron Man 2, and we all were sitting here like, yeah, it's Iron Man 2.
Also, it's also really funny that Marvel put more time into the Incredible Hulk stuff in this than they did in either Thor or Iron Man 2.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we got Betty Ross again, which is awesome because
But it's not the same actress, that I know.
Liv Tyler.
Yeah, it's not Liv
but
Tyler.
I just remember being so disappointed after she never shows up in anything again, and then they're like she got snapped.
I
was like,
think
what?
I think they had to establish that, like, hey, it's still canon. Everything that happened in that movie still happened in the MCU. It's still canon.
And I also feel like the way I think I said last week, I don't know if I said it on or off a podcast, where I was just like, oh, it's funny how Marvel like made sure to line up the War with Wakanda expansion and the T'Challa as Star-Lord. Now they're like, hey, we get Shang-Chi next week, and for some fucking reason, we're bringing back Abomination. So let's just remind people that we do think this is canon. We just think he's the lesser redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. Like,
Also, like going back to that Hulk scene, like the freaking pizza get up, like
Yeah.
was hilarious. I remember when I was rewatching the movie, it was just so wild. And then that scene, that setting there is the original inception of the MCU stealth outfit where you're wearing a ball cap and wearing a hoodie, because that scene where she's walking down there, you see like Bruce Banner like 50 feet behind her, like wearing the get up, and I was like, it's iconic now.
That pizza parlor scene is insane, because I always forget that Betty Ross's new boyfriend in that movie is the guy who plays the dad from Modern Family.
Yeah, Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his real name, but
Yeah.
God. He's in a movie where he plays a teacher that has had sex with a student, and that student is Bill Hader.
That did not go where I think it was going. Like, it went a left turn, and I was like, okay, now we're going. And then it's like, oh no, now we're going another left turn.
Yeah, there's a movie called Skeleton Twins where you find out, spoiler alert, that Bill Hader, while he was in high school, was having a relationship with his married male
But those
teacher.
two actors are this like roughly the same age. And now I'm worried if I Google, we're going to find out like Bill Hader's older for some reason.
Bill Hader's in his like 30s, I think. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
No, but I mean,
just
we
like
went
to
on
talk
worse
about it.
tangents.
It's
Bill-
also just funny to me. Like, would you ever guess that those two people were in a
No.
like they make out in the movie and you watch it happen and you're like, this is not.
Bill
I'm
Hader
okay with the story you're telling, but
is
this is
43, and Ty Burrell is. Come on, Google, don't do this to me. 54.
Okay, so it's like a 10-year age difference. So if he was 10 years older than him, that would have made him 27 when he was Bill Hader's teacher.
Okay, yeah. Like,
Which,
first
like, is
teaching
real.
job, high school senior, yeah.
Yeah. That does not make it okay.
I'm not, no, that's not what I was saying.
Right.
I just, when you said the sentence, I imagined, like, middle age and, like, middle school, or, like, that type of horrible type of situation.
No. High school.
Yeah. Okay.
Anywho. This episode was great.
I really like this one. I like the weird turns they took. I also like the conversation that Natasha and Fury had on the way to the donut, because that, I'm just going to assume, did happen in the background of Iron Man 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, this whole setting of the Avengers era part of the MCU is super fascinating, not only for like the story, but just like nostalgia, where you're like, you know, back then we didn't know what this really was going to be yet, even with Iron Man 1 and 2 and Thor and all that, and then dropping the Cap suit and the Avengers game and all that. It's just it's fun, man. Just fun being in these worlds.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts, guys?
No.
Hank Pym, man.
Fucking Hank Pym.
Psychopath.
Alrighty. Well, we'll catch you guys next week for both probably a discussion on Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, and What If Episode 4. Who knows what it's going to be, though. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.